Naga here. I had the pleasure of meeting this wonderful woman who has a lot of great products. And this one right here is specifically for hair growth. One is Rosemary number 9, and the other one is Sim 1. They smell so good, and they also got a great applicator tip. Therefore, it's easy to use. I instantly went ahead and got me some and put it in my beard, as you can see here. And it feels so good, it made my beard nice and soft. If you want information, it's information on these cards right here, and if you flip this card over, there's a barcode that takes you right to the website. You'll check her out and go cop something. Naga.
Monet, ayy. With the affirmations to enjoy your day with. I am who masters me. I embody mastery. Naga's rising cavalry. The netters are my battery. I got my discipline. My source comes from within. Root chakra grounded in the cosmos so infinite. Nagas through my veins. Currencies flow through ligaments. Another netter instrument. Manifest me dividends. I'm on my mastery. Self-doubt is blasphemy. I'm the God I ask for me. Connected to my astral dream. I summon other beings. All facets of me. Magician carve my meaning. My purpose is the alchemy. I am numero uno, Raishi on my mind, Lion's Mane, big on sumo, Babalao aligned with Pluto. We kick back like we judo, karma licks back with Pluto. Heart on a feather, that represents my new growth. Trusting me is crucial, the God in me a do show. I'm bigger than your economics, politics, and Google. My omnipresence is the true show, all the world is stage. Allow my authentic self to be the sage. Fumigating parasites all up in my space. Cause I am who masters me. I embody mastery. I'm bigger than indoctrinations. Naga's rising cavalry. I am who masters me. I embody mastery. I'm bigger than the situation. Netters are my battery. I am who masters me. I embody mastery. Naga's rising cavalry. The netters are my battery.
You already know the vibes. It's Naga here. Supreme Rising, Divine Rising. You already know what it is. And for this individual that keeps just popping in and out, popping in and out, popping in and out, why don't you sit your ass down and learn something? You're coming in and out of my page like you got a personal issue. Anyway, today's topic is Naga's thoughts, divine everything, the lessons. You know, divine is supposed to be laid in every single thought and action, even when you're opposed with certain frequencies. And lately, I've been opposed with different frequencies trying to take me off of my position, making me remember certain things. Certain things would just come out. But divine structures is so strong, like it's kind of like, even if I test you, what would be your normal response to certain things that you forgot? Can you dig deep and find out what those things were? You know what I remember? I remember people used to say when I was younger, they used to be like, the whole world ain't out to get you. That's a damn lie. Okay, the more you grow into who you are, the whole world is going to be out to get you. And the whole world is consisted of frequencies. So when people start playing with these frequencies to attack you, they're literally explaining the value of lack thereof of what they want to add to the understanding of what that particularly may be. So this is why people make this is the manipulation aspect of life. These are people being at their worst value. You know, most people don't like to hear the word no. And most people like to control the aspect of how life is. Divine don't play in none of those fields. Everything, all glory goes to the Most High, period. That's just the end of that statement. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing else follows that. It's not a if, and, or but. And back in the day, we used to say everything at the but is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So just understanding that retrospect as a particular value. We're not here to play any particular game, especially when it's about your livelihood, right? Sit down, whoever you are, and try to learn something instead of going in and out of my damn screen. They keep coming in, yo, playing the little dippy dodgy shit. I'm gonna go and slow down the views for his page. People ain't got shit else better to do. You ain't got nothing else better to do but to worry about what's going on in my life. How does it feel to be controlled by me and I'm not even trying to control you? Like your every waking moment is about me. It's about me. Because your job is to try to destroy me. I appreciate the love though. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you love me so much that everything you do is centered around me. All right, anyway. All praise due to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And just understanding that with every single thought and action, you're supposed to put the Most High in front of you. There's always going to be something trying to make itself available for you to put before the Most High. You know what I'm saying? All these little groups of people out here, they just want to hold the power themselves. And that be the fight. It's like you getting higher up as far as how well you held on to these particular understandings, right? And I think about these things. I say, damn, is that not just a sin right in front of your face? Like, did that really just not happen just now? Like that, like, yeah, yo, that really happened, Joe. Like they really said what they said. And it's concerning to me sometimes, and then I think about it like it was supposed to be. Nothing's disconcerting in the aspect of the Most High. That's basically showing you the actual platform and the war that Divine is dealing with, right? If it falls down to you making the decision of being the individual that makes the right choice according to Divine's war, what would that look like? How would that manifest itself into your being? How would that show itself to you into your existence, right? Just something to think about, like, how would that even come about? A lot of people don't hear that as the particular value. Like, nobody get a chance to say, well, damn, you know, I never really thought about it like that. Nah, because you're just acting off your own recognizance. Your feelings are in the way. You're letting your feelings rule the way you see things and supposed to see things clearly. It's not a game to having friends. It's not a game to having family. It's not a game, Game. It's not a game to having a relationship. It's not a game in spirituality. These potential aspects starts to slide into your reality to make it weaker of its spiritual connection. How much are you allowing this to get slipped past you in some retrospect? Yes, we can play with the form of disrespect. Yes, we can play with these different attributes, but are you aware of what they're doing to your energy of being righteous? You're going to fall short 1,000,001 times, but you're going to get up 1,000,002. It's the battle of being righteous, and that just tells you it's new devils or new levels. You know, people try to run away from what the frequencies capability are and is, and how that plays a role within your existence. Like, you can't downplay what happens. You might downplay stories. You may downplay certain aspects of religion. We gotta keep in mind, yo, a newspaper at one point was used to rule the world. That newspaper in 200, 300 years from the time it was created became a Bible. I'm going to say that to you one more time. A newspaper was used to rule the world at one point. 200 years later, that newspaper became a Bible. It was a time when TV and shit like that didn't exist. Radio wasn't existing. So what they did was they had something called plays and shadow plays. And people would go to a theater and watch these plays. These plays literally gave people inspiration and ways of thinking when they were able to see a circumstance hand up. How do you think people learned about wars and stuff like that if they wasn't a part of the war? They would have plays. Back then, it didn't come on the news or TV. They had plays. So the play would be the retrospect of the thinking of the people who could not concept the actual war of being in the war. They knew that war was turmoil. They knew that war had bullets flying, buildings being destroyed. Only thing they knew was their fight or flight mentality. Get low, get away, and survive. That's all they knew. Once all that quiet down and they had to go back to their normal livings, these people would say, dang, I couldn't imagine what y'all was going through. I heard all the gun shells, but we had to stay low because we couldn't be in the war to be the fighter. And then you had certain people that they were so needed in that aspect of war at that particular time. They became the heroes of a particular time because they saved that town or they helped save this village or whatever. That one gunfighter might have been flying a jet or something, took out the enemy, probably from another country, became that area's superhero, right? Became that area's the person who saved the town. So they all wanted to know him. Back then they got a chance to take pictures with him. The guy might have landed his plane or whatever, so forth and on. I'm not going to make this out of a long drawn aspect of thinking. I'm just showing you a piece of reality that existed. And it still is what it is. It's just that if you wasn't from that time, you don't know how these things actually played out. So this shows you the attention span of people. And today, the attention span of people is a little more irate and erratic because nobody has a foundation for the greatness that they need to be a part of unless you join something other than. So then if you're in society, you have to make what you live look great. You have to make it great for you. Your voice has to be great enough to outstand or stand out of whatever area you're normal to. Your jokes have to be funny enough for somebody to say, dang, yo, that was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the reality. And people will try to find some level of connection to this greatness without connecting to the source. Well, automatically, these don't tie into your spiritual understanding, and spiritual understanding is everything in existence. Everything. Your awakened day. That's why they tell you about the golden flower. The golden flower is simultaneously the whole existence. It's inside the existence. Like, we're only looking at it from the ceiling. But when you go inside of it, it's every shape, make, and model of everything that sits around you that formulates the golden flower in life. So if you was to look at it from above, you'd be looking at the top of it. But if you was to go inside of it, you would see existence. Trees, the sky, the bugs, the dirt, the molecules and everything. Like, it keeps breaking down to show you existence. That's what that is. So most people don't understand what this really looks like and what it is. But divine is the orchestra of all of that. Okay, that's what divine is. That's how life is put together in that manner. Instead of us saying, wow, we found what this is, or we think this is, understand that's the workings of what you're using to comprehend what you're finding. It's all in one. It's encompassing. Said it wrong. Encompassing. It's encompassing to everything in existence. We don't find nothing new. We only explore self and discover self more. That's all we do. You know what I mean? This may go over people's heads a little bit, but that's the reality once we live. We don't discover anything. We only discover self and discover more of self. You don't find nothing new. There's nothing new to the workings of what you are. You just don't know everything about yourself and about the existence of what we live, period. So, divine, speaking to divine and that value, is the frequency that sits behind the natural law of the universe, the natural law of creation. So when you speak to that source, that's the direction. That's like saying I'm pointing my telescope that way. And when you point your telescope that way, your intention is your sight. So how far you can see through that telescope to the destination of where you're trying to go is your intention. So that's what your imagination came from. So your eye was the extended eye to the value of how far you couldn't see. Your third eye was the extended eye past the imagination of how far you couldn't see. So you combine those three eyes, you got a lens. Don't let this go over your head, yo. I'm talking to you right now, yo. Let this go over your head. This is why people don't understand this shit. You have the eye of your imagination. You have the eyes that you see out of, and you have your third eye. If you really want to tap into divine, you have to combine the three of them and look through your torus field. All right. And when you do that, you can stretch out the value, and then it'll get to a point to where you can't concept. This happens in meditation. So you'll get to a point to where you can't concept that strange extra stretch. It'll get taken over like you was in a Star Trek and something had put a tractor beam on you, and you're like, we're locked in. Now they're pulling us instead of we're, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, oh, can I meet you? Can you send them here and we can just automatically catch them with the tractor beam right there? Yeah, it works like that. So divine will take it over and bring you the rest way. But it's a lot of work you got to do with that. Come on, Palo Santo. Need some air in here. That's why. Get some air in here. Cause that heater be changing out the oxygen for carbon monoxide. Y'all fuck around and die in this motherfucker, yo. Like, cause it be burning up all the oxygen, yo. Sometimes that's why I be feeling like I can't breathe and shit. Cause the heat, yo. But it's all good. Gotta let air in here. All right, so divine takes over when you start extending to the far depths out into your meditation, right? But while you're going through this, you have the access to look through the portals of everything in existence. You can literally see the workings of the human body. The only reason why we try to do extra shit is because we haven't discovered that selves with these actions within ourselves. And it's kind of disturbing when you go upon something and you don't understand what to do with that or what that even looks like. But you got to add the divine to everything. Like divine is like the cap to everything that you do in life. It's almost like speaking that frequency. It turns it on to focus directly on you. Imagine having the highest version of yourself always looking at every molecule of existence, not just the things on the surface, everything, every molecule in existence. So that means the closer you get to divine, everything else in that physical understanding is perfection. It is perfection because it's that close to the divine. So it has to look at the things that are so far away from the source because they know it's imperfect. That's where the strive and the change for you to grow towards that. So the more you go into your higher self, the more perfect you start to become. Perfect in the aspect of connection. When you get to that connection to that frequency, you start to develop a different nuance about oneself. It's the higher aspect. The higher aspect is not broken up into ways that you can formulate for your own understanding. It's not even that. Okay? But most people don't understand what this is, and everybody want to control something. But I don't take it away. I look at it as just a course, because you need to, in order for you to know something is hot, you got to touch it. And then once you understand what heat is, you learn that you shouldn't have touched it. And vice versa with everything else in life. First time you scrape your leg. First time you fell on the ground. First time you ran in sand. You might have felt like sand was soft under your feet. But when you fell on the gravel and the rocks, that shit scraped your ass up. You understand it was a difference in between different types of rocks. You know what I'm saying? Water pressure. You understand it's a difference in between water pressure. Water can cut you, or it can be soft and playful. Same with the wind. You learn that while watching storms. The wind can be good feeling to you, or it can be deadly. You learn that you learn the sun does the same thing. Everything has its counterparts. So then you start understanding the indifference. It's not about how you think. Life is never going to be about how you see it. It's how well you move with it. Some people are going to be like, we got free will. Yeah, your free will bends. It bends the aspect of what you're supposed to be doing out of the way. That's something you can never figure out. You're only going to be tempted to do shit. That's why people fall off the cliff and start believing in falsities. Because you really believe that your free will allows you to be indifferent to a value. People say, well, you think your life is predestined? A tree's life, it grows the way it grows. Like a tree just grows up. Sometimes it'll bend and it'll origami its own way through life because it's growing with certain infractions. That don't make it, that don't mean that was destined. That meant the tree was going to grow anyway. The tree's going to grow no matter what's in front of it. Probably things in front of it will determine how it grows, though. It's shaped into its growth, but it will never stop it from growing. I can take a string and tie a branch down on a tree, but that tree is still going to pull and grow while that string is holding that particular branch down. It's not going to stop it from growing. See what I'm saying? Even if you cut pieces off of the tree will still find a way to grow. You kind of lessen the blockages when you remove parts from the tree. So now the tree can actually start over. It can actually grow stronger. If you cut few, you know what I'm saying? Like it's certain advantages to having stoppages or blockages in your life. And when you start understanding that this blockage wasn't put here by the divine, it was put here by individuals who choose free will, then you know automatically they're going against the creator of all things. The same thing they was created by. Divine said, look out for the energy that's opposite minds. Most people don't want to swallow the value because you're too busy living as a child. In your mind, you want to succeed in ways with no discipline. And your discipline, you want to be disciplined in the ways of you. How long have you lived to where you think everything you know is on top scale of value? Obviously not long enough. This is cognitive dissonance. I'm not going to front. Sometimes I get in my head because I be upset about things that happened to me in my past that I never spoke about. I found myself talking to a friend the other day and the shit kind of blurted out. And I was like, I can't believe I just said that. And they asked me 3 times, you really just said that? You really just said that? You really just said that? And I was like, yeah. I was like, but that wasn't meant to be said. And I don't even know why it came out as like something forced it out. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I got emotional and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's because you'll never forget these things that happened to you. Never got an apology. It was meant to break you. It was meant to push you or make sure your tree didn't grow. It was like trying to be a form of poison, but the tree kept growing. So don't think nobody don't know what they've done to you. People know what they've done. Whether or not they lied about it, they got to live with that shit for the rest of their lives. And soon, that's going to be the only energy they have to sustain their understanding is what they've done to you, knowing that you wasn't in need of none of that action. This is why you strive to be the best person you can be no matter what takes place. Because your residual energy is what's going to be left for the people who don't think that energy is real. Your residual energy is going to be left there. The understanding of still being accepted when you was at your worst is going to be left there. Knowing that people can see through the decisive values of how individuals want to take advantage and don't have a level of respect for all creations in life. Life shouldn't be the way that's stipulated under the value of how much you can get in control. It should be on the way of how well you're able to liberate others. It's not a first, second, and third. You know what I'm saying? It's only when you are in a place, will that person rise you or will they allow you to stay stuck? If that's your friend and they have the means of helping you getting from one point to another, why wouldn't they help you? The question doesn't state to the value of when they should do it. It states to the value of why you wouldn't. That's your friend, right? They've helped you at some point in life, right? So that's a different answer. See, life makes the pathways for what there needs to be done. The easiness to that pathway is if you're structured to the right connection of the people's frequency within your pathway. So these people's frequency can be bent in in different ways, or different infractions that don't allow them to see a clear straight shot. That means it's refractions in the light that's coming towards them. Things are making their light have different understandings. And sooner or later in life, when it's their turn to walk through these refractions, they're going to see it as, I need this assistance. Every light frequency travels at a different speed. So it all goes through the same refraction. It just goes through at different speeds. So you don't get to witness a level in life not knowing you're gonna be there. that's the shit that kind of went over my head when I was a lot younger. I used to see shit and be like, yo, why am I witnessing this? Why do I get a chance to witness this? Like, and I would literally stop myself, like, why am I looking at this right now? I could have been looking at the tree. Why am I looking at this particular thing? And the reason why I'll be looking at that particular thing is because soon I was going to have to deal with it. This is how life shows you your paths. And the more you work these particular muscles, you can see even farther out. You can get even a farther out view of what it is for you to see. Light refraction is only like a sequence of mathematical understanding of how light travels. So then when you start finding yourself looking at certain things or involved in certain things, that's showing you the pathway of your whole existence. So there's a way you came into that liking of those thoughts, and there's a way you're going to exit those likings. And then with the accumulation of the sum of that particular understanding, it's going to merge to another sum of a particular understanding that kind of comes off of that. It's the contrast. So it's like you might be aggressed to this, but later you won't be as aggressed. What comes with the as not as aggressed with that same mentality, that's going to show you a whole path. You're going to be like, yo, I was thinking about this shit. I remember when I used to be into this shit and I said I was going to be doing XYZ. People are like, you speaking this into existence. Not particularly. It's only the contrast of the value of what that is. The shit get deep with me, yo. Like, but I know what divine be showing me. And sometimes the capabilities that divine has given me puts me in a different speed frame. So I might be moving at universal speed as if I was sitting right next to divine, and divine is like, you still got pieces you leaving behind. Your residual energy has to be clean. So it's like I got to make sure I'm in line with certain things. So sometimes I feel some type of way about the actions of people in existence, especially older heads, when they don't do the right thing and they did it purposely and they just sitting there like a knot on the lawn because they're mad. You're sitting there like a knot on a log. You just mad about your life. It didn't work for you. It ain't gonna work for nobody else. That's fucked up. That's free will, though. So these people, you have to really find a way to go around that aspect, because they're not going to shine no brighter than the way they shined in that understanding. They have already been solidified in that frequency of thinking. Divine is going to cut off dead hair. Dead hair got to go. All praise due to the Most High. All praise due to the Most High. And it's deep, yo. It's real deep. It's like, dang. I be having crazy dreams, yo. Like, I be seeing shit in my dreams, yo. Like, my dreams be littered with stuff. I be like, yo, what the hell is going on? You know what I mean? Like I just literally started waking up. You know what I'm saying? I've always had crazy dreams, but now my dreams is like I'm more cognate in them. You know what I'm saying? Whether people know that I'm cognate, like I think I've been looking a certain way in my dreams for so long, they're used to it. So they think I'm not awake. And I've been moving a certain way in my dreams for a long time. So it's like they're used to it. So they think I'm not awake. But now I notice that I move the ways that I move in my dreams, and I'm controlling that a little different, just like subtle. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm moving slightly indifferent. It's like I'm realizing who the person is in the dream world. Like I'm understanding his characters. It's me, but I'm understanding how he moves in that dimension. You know what I'm saying? And it's like sometimes I'm feeling some type of way while he making decisions, and I'm like, nah, we ain't about to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like acclimating to the different dimensions. You know what I'm saying? Like with a pure thought. So now if I'm mastering my thought in this aspect of thinking is rising to its higher potential, which has to master the motions of the physical in these different dimensions. You know what I'm saying? Which gives it a higher echelon of conscious awareness. So now I'm 1 and 1. I'm probably going to be 1 and 3 in a minute. You know what I'm saying? 1 and 1, like you skip over 2 because 1 and 1 is 2. You know what I'm saying? So I'm 1 and 1. It's like I'm me and walking into my higher self. And then the third one is I'm 1 and 3. You know what I'm saying? So it's 4. You know what I mean? I'm already on my 44. You know what I mean? Right now. So I'll probably be finishing 44 if I hit 45. So I'll be in the 4th dimension. You know what I mean? Like I look at these aspects because it's how far I can see outward. You know what I'm saying? So when I be meditating, I know I be traveling. I go to different places. You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn. I've had dreams in a dream and a dream and a dream. Like I've been in like 3 dreams at once from the place I came from. You know what I mean? So it shows a different value. It's like you understanding that you can literally reach the 4th dimension, but are you there cognitively? Like everybody thinks shit is just like, oh, we're going to wake up in the 5th dimension. No, you're not. Can you really get there cognitively? Can you take your consciousness and travel for real, for real? You know what I mean? And you have to work on that by having your genuine connections here. So don't feel bad about being emotional about what humanity has done in some aspect, whether it's your friends, family, your loved ones, like what they have done. Don't beat yourself up so much about the things you went through. You know what I mean? Just kind of look at it as you had an action and a time to see it and experience it already. So once you get that, it doesn't have to happen again. It only will happen again if you call it to you by holding on to it. So don't call it to you. You know what I mean? Don't call it to you. Like send that shit away. You know what I'm saying? Send it away. It's something that you experienced. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, like I said, I'm going to put it in a book. You know what I mean? I'm going to write it in a book because it's what actually happened. Right? So it's liberating at that point, because then you can give it a life of its own to live its own story. And now it makes people aware of what can possibly happen. It's something to think about. All praise due to the Most High. So everything you do, you put the Most High first. You know what I'm saying? Don't even matter. Like you wake up in the morning, you put the Most High first. The divine see everything that you do and everything that you are. You can't be a secret to the divine. Even if you don't believe in the divine like that, the divine believe in you. He believe in you because he know you created. You have a portion of this value of situations that are connected to you. And there's a way out of it. It's just that some people, they never seen a way out of it. And all of your synapses push you away from everything that means. It just turns you away. It makes you just hold on to everything negative. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to hold on to negative things, even though those might be the highlights of your life. That right there that's like a function within inside your computer chip that only makes you feed to that direction. You should be able to like find a way to open up more synapses in your brain to where you can feed to more other aspects of life. It shouldn't be that that's the only thing. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's hard for some people because of experiences and fear and lack thereof of what you know about universal pretenses, but that's what you believe in within yourself is about. Believing in yourself that you can be a master at solving problems. And the way you solve these problems that are not just beneficial for yourself, is beneficial for all in an equality manner. Once you can start looking at life that way, then you start to change the way you have an outcome of seeing life, period. If you can't solve it for everybody else to, have a win, then you're not doing nothing but being the opposite of the divine energy. Divine encompasses all angles, all angels, all waves. So that means all negative situations, because wave is a negative frequency. So all negative situations that can be formed off of a push, it came from the divine understanding. And all angles or angels of aspects of thinking came from the force of the divine. So that means if you can't find the best and the worst versions of all of that within the decisions that you make, you're not following within the divine. So you're going to be at the worst of the negative eventually. You know what I mean? And you're going to have to find out the best way in that situation to manifest whatever change you got to do. It might be a small change, but it might be the best move you got at that moment. It might be the best move you have at that moment. Please like and share and comment, you know what I'm saying, on this live if you get a chance to watch the playback, right? And leave a comment. Like, support can go a long way, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, you don't always have to send some money. You can leave your comment, you can share it. Your like, your subscribes is important. All right, so you can do those things to actually help get me into the algorithm the way I need to be, right? Because people come in here trying to take me out of the algorithm. They don't want this true knowledge to be heard, because you know what? Some people thrive off the fact that you're lucid in your mind. They enjoy the fact that you don't know. They enjoy the fact that you will never reach a higher level of understanding the mechanisms and why they work within you a particular way. They would rather you use these mechanisms to falsify or formulate the world around you. So therefore you're trapped. You'll be a victim to these things. You start wanting shit that you don't need. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what the world is built off. It's like creating stuff that really doesn't have a value. And then people start literally flying in their consciousness, leaving Earth. And they're like, yo, what are we creating these things for if everybody's leaving? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a party on Earth, everybody getting drunk, but nobody drink. You got like 100 million Jello shots and nobody drinks and shit. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, what do we do this shit for? It don't even work. And that's like where the world is right now in some aspect. Like, the world literally, you know what I'm saying? The world literally has to have you inducted. Like, they have to have you addicted to something in order to have the world existence. They don't believe that you can just be a part of the world without being addicted to shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, to have a process of conveyor. The conveyor was supposed to let things leave in their highest spiritual form, but we started embracing death. People started embracing death. I'll just kill you. No, divine's like, nah, y'all, you ain't allowing the tree to grow. You gotta let the tree grow so it can leave. All the other attributes to fear only comes from free will. People who had different free wills, and they inflict it because of their fear of being somewhere they never been. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, in order to have things grow from its right standpoint, there has to be balances put back in order. There has to be things given back. There has to be a platform made. There has to be a balance of finances, a balance of health, a balance of growth, a balance of equality, a balance of knowledge. Like, it has to happen in order for things to take place. You can't be like, well, I want all of this to happen, but you don't want it to happen the right way. No, you're going to put yourself like, you know, the Bill Gates and all of them. They're going to put themselves in a headlock thinking that they're going to just eradicate this many people or whatever. Nah, what you're going to do is make the earth produce that many more times 10. That's what happens when you go against the universe. It's like you throw a punch and then that shit comes back 10 times harder at you. You know what I'm saying? So you'll never win against that value. The best thing for you to do is allow the process to take place and let it be a humbling experience. So then eventually, where the energies that are left behind can grow into that right too. It must be a reason. You don't get to be on a situation where some situations are aggressed and some situations just can't get aggressed without understanding that you're growing into that direction. It's like saying grass and bamboo. They're like, yo, what are you putting those two? Well, bamboo is giant grass. Did you know that? Did you know bamboo is giant grass? That's all bamboo is. And grass is at the feet. So that means left alone, it can really grow and do some other things. You know what I'm saying? Like, so with that being said, you go to other countries, people use bamboo for everything. So it's like it shows you the stages right in front of your face. It can be grass, it can be a forest, it can actually be used for textile. You see that three-way manifestation. You can see grass trying to be like melanin. I can do three things at once if I'm left alone. You know what I'm saying? Shit crazy. But that kind of goes over people's heads because everybody want to control shit. You got to be more like water. Shout out to Bruce Lee. You got to be like water and just flow with it, baby. You gotta be like water and flow with it. Look, I ain't gonna hold you, man. I'm just trying to show you something. You your worst enemy. You know what I'm saying? People be trying to critique me all the time. I'm pretty sure I got all types of infiltrators around my life. People just listening and listening. And they be like, you know what? We're gonna take this and show the world he's not what they think he. I love when people judge. People don't understand. You're not judging me, you're judging divine. I'm in perfectly in my flesh. You know what I'm saying? Like small trees, you can walk through the woods and step right on them and break them. They're not strong, but you will not step on a tree and break it. One of them big tall trees, them oak trees, I'm gonna see you put your foot on the base of it and stand on it and see what happens. You won't be your foot will break. That tree ain't moving for you. You be like, I wish you would try to kick me down. I'm gonna break your damn leg. You know what I'm saying? That's the indifference in between things that are imperfect and things that are perfectly strong. Divine didn't make no mistakes. People do by their false judgment. And the more you judge out of the value of what you think your part is with the natural order of things, is when you start building your own particular karma. Everything has a life. Excuse me. Everything has a life. I just swallowed a piece of that mullet. That shit got stuck in my throat. But everything has life. Has life. That's living that comes out of the ground. There you go. Get out of there. That shit was stuck in my throat. And Mullen got like these little hairs on it. Dang it. Got these little hairs on it. Shit. Hold on. Need some water. Mullet got them little hairs on it, yo. That shit get stuck in your throat. Whoa. Yeah, that was heavy. Mullen got those little hairs on it, man. It's like a fuzzy leaf. And a little tiny piece just got stuck in my throat. I could feel the hairs. I can still feel them. She got my eyes watering. Like, we got something in his throat. We can make him stop talking. No, the hell you can't. Never. 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 For never. For never. For never. Anyway. So it's just the whole point. It's just the whole point. You have the opportunity to use your will to be the greatest steward of divine. Divine trying to pick out who's going to use the negative energy instead of using the light that they're connected to. Everybody's not disconnected from the umbilical cord of the divine. It's just that when you, like, if any muscle you work more than average, it's going to be any muscle you work more than average is definitely going to help solidify that particular value. So if you don't stand with the divine, you're basically cutting your own umbilical cord. And most people be like, I don't know why this ain't working. I don't know this. And again, because you don't use it enough. You don't stand with it enough. There's not a representation of it. And most people who lie about it, they use a false representation of it. And because they're using a false representation of it, they end up severing their own connection to the universe, like thereof not being able to comprehend anything divine. Sometimes that came from like your ancestors. Other people stand in that free will aspect, dealing with other darker energies and seeing how physically that can manifest in this world. And that's something astronomical to actually look at. You know what I'm saying? Like, people want to be able to do physical things. That means they want to stay in a higher above the creation aspect when divine deals in being fair. So when divine sent them amongst the people, he was trying to teach them to be fair with life, showing them the humbleness of life. But most of the fallen ones couldn't get that because they wanted to control. They wanted to have an echelon. They wanted to have the values. Well, what's at value stays at value. It doesn't deplete its understanding. If divine see there's a kink in your armor, you have to face karma by your actions. You gotta keep in mind, there's always been first sons. There's been first sons in every wave that exists, every powerful wave that is forced to be flung from the source energy. It has a first son, the first son that ignited in that wave of existence. And all the sons, they didn't make the same choice. This is why it's so many different values that exist through the universe. And the more you travel out to connect to these higher echelons of thinking, dealing with divine, you get a higher level of righteousness, which is next level worldly to people. Is all I'm saying. Is all I'm saying. You get a next level worldliness that you got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And people are like, yo, this motherfucker ain't from here. This is this. It's because some people can do so much good and everything you do will be forgotten. Like, people will try to downplay the good you do. You know what I mean? Because they want to hold a level of civility. They want to hold a level of control within themselves. Community doesn't mean that. Community means we represent for each other equally. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be a level of equality, but because people don't stand in that value, they can't even find divine. They can't find it because in your mind, you don't naturally deal on equality. So what room, the only direction you can go is down, especially when you're not trying to lift everything up. You will get lifted up if you pile everything up, then you got something to stand on. I pull myself out of situations. I do appreciate the good words I hear from time to time, but I can feel intention too. So I can feel what people are intending by what they say sometimes. You know what I mean? And some people, they have a pure intention behind the emotional categorize of how they're expressing themselves. That's fine too, because you get it a real truth. It just has to be adjusted to the value of divinity. And once that happens, everything goes back to its source. You can't get divine energy. You can't get divine energy without being at least going through the trials of righteousness. That means failing, gaining, losing, gaining. You know what I mean? Being sad, being happy. All these values, they were putting stories for different people to see that this happens. But if you put that in one in compilation, then you can see, damn, okay, this just was an up and down. This was an ebb and flow. This was this individual's life. And this is where your religions come from to try to control you. They try to take out the ebb and flows and make them like the height of a story. This is the reason why you got movies that got the precipice of a story, the height, the clincher, the intense part, all this other shit. They put that in there to make you think this is a short-lived understanding, because people really don't really want to put in that longevity work to grow into their divinity. That's basically what it is. You got to bake in this oven until You rise up the energy, the universal energy that allows you to travel mentally. You know what I mean? Every baby takes everything. Every baby has to take everything. They need the attention, they need the love, they need to eat, they need to sleep. So they're taking everything. And if you got something that's shiny, they might take it from you and look at you crazy and shit. You be like, you little motherfucker. That's the opposing parties of the world. They destroy everything. It's because they're not used to being under these conditions. We are. And a lot of indifferences are. It's just that they learn to divide your mind in different ways to make you feel as if it's not such a thing. That's cognitive dissonance too. It's false promotion of a mentality that makes people live in certain ways. And once you realize through conscious awareness that you possibly been here for a long time, just in the way you are, because something has been making you relive the false connection to the universe, you're gonna get pissed off. You're gonna be like, wait, you've been tricking me into doing this shit. You're gonna get mad as shit and get real mad. But look, I ain't gonna hold you though. You already know the vibes, man. Naga, I'm up out of here. It's Naga here. I had the pleasure of meeting this wonderful woman who has a lot of great products. And this one right here is specifically for hair growth. One is Rosemary number 9, and the other one is Sim 1. They smell so good, and they also got a great applicator tip. Therefore, it's easy to use. I instantly went ahead and got me some and put it in my beard, as you can see here. So, and it feels so good, it made my beard nice and soft. If you want information, it's information on these cards right here. And if you flip this card over, there's a barcode that takes you right to the website. You'll check her out. Go cop something. Naga.
With the affirmations to enjoy your day with. I am who masters me. I embody mastery. Naga's rising cavalry. The netters are my battery. I got my discipline. My source comes from within. Root chakra grounded in the cosmos so infinite. Nagas through my veins. Currencies flow through ligaments. Another netter instrument. Manifest me dividends. I'm on my mastery. Self-doubt is blasphemy. I'm the God I ask for me, connected to my astral dream. I summon other beings, all facets of me. Magician carve my meaning. My purpose is the alchemy. I am numero uno, Raishi on my mind, lion's mane, big on sumo, Babalao aligned with Pluto. We kick back like we judo, karma licks back from Pluto. Heart on a feather, that represents my new growth. Trusting me is crucial, the God in me a do show. I'm bigger than your economics, politics, and Google. My omnipresence is the true show, all the world's a stage. Allow my authentic self to be the sage. Fumigating parasites all up in my space. Cause I am who masters me. I embody mastery. I'm bigger than indoctrinations. Naga's rising cavalry. I am who masters me. I embody mastery. I'm bigger than the situation. Netters are my battery. I am who masters me. I embody mastery. Naga's rising cavalry. The netters are my battery.